Welcome to Team Talks, where each week we take 5 minutes just to chat about something that will help you groove and grow. Here this morning we're here with Pastor Peter.
Hi everybody.
And we're really excited. This is the concept that Pastor Peter actually spoke to me about a number of months ago. And
Must be a good concept.
It's been grown in my heart. It's the concept and the phrase, I've got your back. I've got your back. It's particularly in reference to Team Breakthrough and how we encourage a culture of working as a team, working in unity, working to help each other, we champion each other, and the concept that, hey, I'm on your team, I've got your back. You know, soldiers, they go out and it's like they need to work together, that they've got each other's backs. We're not in this alone. But there's an analogy. Do you remember that analogy with was the animals?
The lobsters. This was a story I heard many years ago. A man went up to a person who was fishing and he was pulling up lobsters and he was putting the lobsters in a wicker basket, a big cane sort of wicker basket, and he's just dropping in, but there was no lid on it. And the person said, there's a dozen lobsters in there. Aren't you scared they'll be able to climb up and escape because they can use their claws, their pincers to grab hold of the wicker basket and move the way up? And he said, no, just watch. And he looked over and he said he'd see one and he'd begin to work his way up and he'd get about halfway up the basket and the one at the bottom would reach up and grab hold of the lobsters climbing up, and he'd grab hold of it to try and pull himself up, and all he'd succeed to do was just pull the lobster that made halfway up back down to the bottom. And he said, so they're just constantly pulling each other down and keeping each other. If they'd all worked together, they could have all escaped. But no, they're too busy trying to just pull themselves up, and in doing so, it dragged everyone down.
And that's a really powerful concept, because if you're in a team, and I don't know if you've been in a team like this, whether it's at work or other situations where nobody's working together, everyone's completely focused on getting themselves to the top and covering themselves and working their way to the top, whereas that is not the culture at Team Breakthrough.
No.
At Team Breakthrough, we work together. In fact, there's this incredible message that Pastor gave, I reckon 10 years ago maybe, and it was about spinning top. We're actually going to link you the spinning plates. We'll link you the message. And he said that when you've got like a pencil and you're spinning a plate on the pencil and the stick, and he said all these other people are around spinning the plates, and he said if you are so consumed with keeping your plate spinning, but then you realize someone over there needs help, if you try to put yours down, then you go over there and you try to help somebody else, and then you're afraid because your plate's going to stop spinning. Every second you're trying to get back and make sure that you're keeping up and you're doing well. And he talked about the fact that we need to release and let God take care of us and make us all about helping those around us and serving those around us, knowing that God will take care of us, and we don't need to be so consumed with getting ourselves to the top. God's got that. How can we just serve and help all those around us? And that's the concept of got your back. That in Team Breakthrough, we help each other, we champion each other, we do things to work together. We don't work against others. We come alongside them. And particularly we want to highlight the area of the way we talk. A great example is that when we talk about other people in Team Breakthrough, we are championing them. We are not pulling them down. We're not doing it. We're not saying things that will sort of push them down to make ourselves look good. We don't embarrass somebody. We don't highlight somebody. We don't highlight a mistake of somebody. What's that phrase you say, that when something good happens, it's all them?
Success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. And that just basically talks about the fact when something goes well, everybody says, I had a part in that. When it goes bad, everybody wants to say, I've got nothing to do with this. Well, we want to be the opposite. We want to be the opposite. We want, when something is going wrong, we take that as a team, and we all sort of say, hey, we as a team didn't maybe make that work. And so what's some examples we can give?
Okay, so for an examples, like, I think on stage is a great thing, because that's, very public. And Pastor actually did a great example a number of months ago. We had a big meeting, and the screens team and the creative team were doing a great job, because it was a really complex screen setup. We were working with other ministers, and they'd been working to get the PowerPoints on there. And right in the middle of the meeting, something went wrong, and the screens just stopped working. And everything was going into meltdown. It was a big meeting, and everybody starts panicking. It's awkward, and everybody's like turning around and looking at the sound area, and there's guys on screens like, what's going on? The screens aren't working. And Pastor really could have easily have just sort of got awkward and embarrassed up there, because he's trying to speak and now the screens aren't working, and he could have said, guys, can you try to get that screen up? It's going to be really difficult for me to make that work. Can something's, guys, what's going on? But he completely flipped it, and instead of highlighting their mistake, he turned it around and highlighted and championed them. And he said, oh my gosh, something about who loves technology, right? Never works just when you need it. Can we give a huge round of applause for our amazing creative team at the back who work through technology and each week work really hard to make us have amazing screens, and when something's gone wrong now, obviously with the technology, they're persevering and making it work. Everyone give them a round of applause because they're willing to work with technology. Thanks guys for all that you do. And I don't know if you remember doing that, but it was just it was so natural to you, and immediately the tension in the room lifted, and it was like everybody was like, yeah, great job guys, great jobs out there. And suddenly I felt like everyone in that creative room, suddenly from feeling on the spot and awkward, went to like, oh, I can do this, that's all right, no big deal, nobody's highlighting and making me feel embarrassed or awkward. And that's the concept we want to say, that we, watch your words. If you're on stage, don't highlight a mistake. No. Don't if maybe
do the opposite. Like sometimes you see someone, they hit the wrong note, and everyone makes a mistake, and everyone knows that, But what you don't want is everyone else on the stage to turn around and raise their eyebrows, like, oh, did you see that? And because sometimes someone will make a mistake, and I think, was that a wrong note? And I look up, and if on the stage everyone's playing as if, I'm thinking maybe it wasn't wrong, because everyone looks as if everything was perfect. Now, I'm sure that the musicians are actually internally thinking, that was the wrong note, or they've set this at the wrong key, or they've gone to the wrong verse, they've put the wrong words up, or someone's dropped their microphone. But instead of everybody sort of focusing on it, everybody just immediately covers for it and says, that's normal, we're all good, I don't even know that. Or I can think of an example would be that if you're in maybe greeting at the door, and then someone comes in and complains about what someone's done in the car park, or something that's in the car park. Sometimes we have that desire to protect ourselves, and that was so-and-so's job, and obviously they haven't got there this early. We throw someone else under the bus to protect ourselves, but instead we say, no, we're all, if someone's made a mistake, rather than pointing the finger and putting them down, we say, oh, that's so disappointing, we should do better as a team, I'm really sorry. So you sort of absorb it as a team thing instead of trying to point and work with them. Now, there's a time later when you need to talk to that person and say, you really should have done that, you got the wrong note, how can we work against that? But that's done privately.
When we can work that conversation still happens, but in the right place, in the right setting, like private, not in public. And I said often our instinct is that we want to defend ourselves. Like Pastor said, we want to, something happens and suddenly, and like we've all had this, like we've been on stage and somebody says, oh, Caitlin, you're sharing the Jesus is here this morning. And suddenly it's like, I didn't know I was sharing the Jesus is here. And I could make it really awkward and be like, I wasn't told I was sharing Jesus is here this morning. And in front of, oh, well, this is awkward. What I wasn't told about this. What's happening? And then suddenly I've thrown everybody under the bus. They think, obviously, it's not Caitlin's fault. It's everybody else's fault. It's the communication. It's this and that. Or I could just say, you know what, this is a bit difficult, but I'm going to cover it, and I'm just going to come out and confidently share a testimony. And then later on have a discussion and say, hey, I didn't actually realise I was on, did something go wrong in the communications? Yeah,
did someone send me the text? What happened? We can check, we can sort through that later. But at the time, you don't even give anyone the clue that this is not going to plan.
Exactly. So we want to encourage you, what can you do in your team to champion each other? When something goes wrong, how do you cover a mistake? How do you say, you know what, I've got your back, I'm going to help you. What can you do to change the atmosphere? Don't think about what others can do, think about what can you do to change the atmosphere in your team, to say we've got each other's back, we champion each other, we help each other, we cover each other's mistakes, we highlight them, we turn it around, we purposely say great things about them, we say things, all the time about, hey, can we just randomly give an applause for the welcome team? What a great job they give each week. Or, can we just highlight and thank our Super Kid commanders when you release the kids? Can we just say huge thanks to our kids and youth team? They do such a great job each week, because we have constantly got our backs. We champion each other. We don't throw each other under the bus. And that will create a really great environment for us to work in.
All right, so just remember, whatever we do, let's make it fun. God bless.